Greetings and salutations, everybody. Welcome to the latest entry on a very special day here, April 1st. So initially I had plans on making a very different kind of video for this day, but due to some circumstances here, I decided I needed to change things up. Instead, make a video about one of my favorite horror films of the 80s, with the 1986 film April Fool's Day, starring, among others, Clayton Rohner, who was in my video for Modern Girls, Deborah Foreman, who was also in a video of mine for some of the bits that I went over for Waxwork. We also have Amy Steele, who, again, was in a video of mine for when I was covering the Friday the 13th films, as she was in Friday the 13th Part 2, and also Ken Olandt, who was in another video of mine for Summer School. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and link to all of those videos that I covered in the comments. And we also have in this one Thomas Wilson, who played Biff in Back to the Future Part 1, 2, and 3. So, we really get a great cast in this. And, but yeah, what is this film all about? Well, the synopsis is as follows. 9 college students staying at a friend's remote island mansion begin to fall victim to an unseen murderer over the April Fool's Day weekend. But nothing is as it seems. Okay, yeah, so April Fool's Day, which takes place on April Fool's Day, and I'm making this video about this, I'm going to post it today on April Fool's Day. So, this throwback 80s horror film, it has all the, great stuff that I really love in it. We've got that great mystery of what's, happening on this island, who's behind these killings and so forth. And how are they going to get out of this situation? We also have, like I mentioned in a previous video with the fog, a very slow build. They're not throwing kills or gore or frights in your faces every 60 seconds in this. But instead, they're kind of giving us a slow build up throughout, especially in that first half, to kind of introduce us to all of these characters are, so we'll actually care about them and not want them to die and be afraid for them. And we also get some twists thrown in. So it's got everything that I want. And because, this day brings a lot of, pranks and jokes, so does the film. The characters are, as they're kind of heading out to this mansion on this island while they're on the ferry heading that way, they are playing some jokes and some pranks on each other, kind of lightening things up quite a bit. Lightening that mood until an actual accident happens that's pretty gory as well. So then once they get to the island and they're, set up in this mansion, they're kind of being, shown around. It's a really beautiful place, but they're still throwing little pranks here and there. And not just them, but they get to their rooms and there's some small ones happening. So it could be small things like a dribble glass or something when they're all trying to do a toast to just kind of break the ice there, or a collapsing chair. But then some of these other more strange ones are starting to happen in their rooms, such as a woman finds a tape recorder that has the sound of a baby crying on it within her closet. Somebody else finds some BDSM wear just kind of stashed in their room for some reason. Another one finds a bunch of drug paraphernalia. And I think finally there was also one where they're seeing some clips about a car crash that had happened. And, along with this, these creepy little pranks and clues being hidden about, then some people start going missing. Now, as the audience, we're clued in that someone is going around grabbing these people, kind of taking them out in various ways, but who is it and why? That's the whole mystery aspect of it. So while this is all happening, we're also seeing our host, Muffy, played by Deborah Foreman, becoming a bit odd. Some strange behavior, seemingly unkempt, almost like she's behind on sleep, and she's a bit of a mess and everything. So something is definitely up with her, because early on when she's first introduced, she's very positive and fun and happy, kind of inviting everybody in, maybe seeming a little bit nervous, but that's about it. But those jokes, they were very personal to these guests, and something is up in general, besides whatever we're starting to suspect about Muffy. And it's that mystery, like I always mention in these horror movies, that's what pulls me in the most. So, as I said, we never really get this non-stop gore and violence. Just as those, just as like these little beats kind of hidden here and there. We'll get a little reveal of something, a little bit of violence, a little bit of gore, and then it cuts to something else. And then it starts to increase more and more as we kind of head toward our ending, where we kind of deal with the conclusion of the jokes, the killings, the little twists and turns laid throughout, this little mystery of almost like a little subplot of one of the characters kind of being laid out as well. So because of how the mystery and horror aspects were presented slowly throughout this film and gradually opening things up a bit more, we also gradually care more and more about these characters. none of which are unlikable. This is one of those that's, a bit different in that some of these characters are very different from each other, and some had really just met each other that weekend, having that mutual friend who's, the host of that weekend, Muffy. So, but while there are some differences in characters and maybe even some personality clashes there, no one is unlikable. Even some little annoying behaviors and pranks, are fine because they never really went over the top. It's just intended to be fun for April Fool's Day weekend for these characters. So when one of them is taken out, let's say, then another, and this threat kind of builds until there are only a few left. It really kind of brings you to the edge of your seat here. These jokes are fading away as the situation is getting more and more serious and more embracing that horror aspect, that slasher aspect, that people are being taken out. So, for this film, everything was balanced really well, and this, I believe it was like an 86-minute runtime, was just the perfect amount of time. It's short and sweet to lay everything out. By the ending where, everything is wrapped up and the threat is dealt with, as well as the little twists that they laid out, I just felt like we had a nice, quick 80s horror film to enjoy, more than worth checking out. But anyways, as I wrap up this quick little recommendation for this quick one, and thank you for checking out this video and sticking around to the end, April Fool's Day is currently available on Showtime, as well as a lot of different paid rentals. So, you can sign up for like a free week of Showtime through Amazon, or I think they have a free trial through Paramount Plus as well. So you can hop on there and check it out. But be warned, there is a remake from 2008. From what I can tell, the plot line's a little bit different. But the main difference here is that while the remake is a 3.7 out of 10 on IMDb, the original is at a 6.1. So definitely look for the one from 1986. That's the April Fool's Day to check out, that has all these great actors in it and lays out this really fun 80s mystery horror with some dashes of comedy in there. But anyways, thanks for checking this one out and sticking around to the end. And, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell, comment, all that kind of stuff. Share everything around because it really helps out the channel quite a bit. Thanks for stopping by, and happy April Fool's Day.
April Fool.